If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again, and welcome to episode number 189 of the Career Mode Road to Glory here on FIFA 15. We start with the first friendly of the season, at home against Stade Reims. This is going to be the first outing for our new signings. I was starting all of the new players in this particular game. We've got Arias at right back, we've got Areola in between the sticks, Kishnos, you can see that on the ball on the left hand side, and Saido Berahino up top. You guys were adamant, absolutely adamant, that I was not to drop Strahil Georgiev from the first team to replace him with Saido Berahino. So I dropped Paulsen for this particular game, although for competitive games my starting lineup will include both Paulsen and Georgiev, and it will be Berahino that's on the bench. But straight from kickoff, after we scored our first, Berahino goes on a lovely run and picks up his first goal in a Cambridge United shirt. Couldn't have asked for more, really, could I? And then straight from kickoff again, there's going to be another chance. Obviously, with pre-season friendlies, if you're fairly new to the channel, I tend not to show too many highlights from the pre-season friendlies, just goals, and if there's less than 3 goals, then I'll show a couple of key highlights. But if there are more than 3 goals, then I will show you just the goals from the games in the friendlies. But then obviously when we get to competitive games, extended highlights. But they're actually going to pull themselves one back here. I'm a bit disappointed with Areola for not even bothering to try and save that, and I'm hoping that he won't be a bit of a dud keeper and a dud signing. You guys though were very keen on me keeping Marcus Hutchinson as my number 1 goalkeeper though, and sending out the young Jones that we have, the 70 rated goalkeeper, out on loan. And a few of you were keen-eyed enough to notice that he can play in goal and at right mid, which is quite a turn up for the books. A goalkeeper that can play outfield as well. Obviously I won't play him outfield, but I was disappointed to concede an equaliser there, to be completely honest. The midfielder in the middle just completely missed the ball, almost tried a standing tackle as a first touch, which was completely weird to me, but never mind. We came away with a 2-2 draw from our first friendly against Stade Reims. We're back into the transfer window action. Johannes Geis has been sold. £10 million to Lille, 8.5 of which has gone into our transfer kitty to try and A, pick up a replacement for him, and B, find some more players throughout the squad to try and strengthen with. Fiddling with the budget slightly. We are looking at Pierre-Emile Højbjerg though. He looks like he could be a fantastic acquisition if we can bring him in. Still trying to move on. Julian von Hark though, 88 rated, £32 million is his value, and he's on £200,000 a week wage-wise. I can't get an offer in for him. It's really starting to frustrate me. Putting offers in for a few players here, though, trying to use the Johannes Geis money as best we can. Jetro, we won't be able to use it for all of the players we're bidding for here, but if I can at least, have one accepted, then we know that we're definitely going to get a new player in. Jetro Willems was popular with you guys as well, so I'm going to try and use Wendell, my current Brazilian left-back, to bring in the Dutch left-back to replace him if we can, and then he and Baraki will, toss it up for that first team left back spot. Daniel Amate was a very popular choice with you guys, so we are going to try and bring him in as well. I couldn't decide initially who to try and use as make weight, whether it should be Fiola or whether it should be Bayerin, but we're going to use Fiola initially because they're both centre backs, so it's kind of a straight swap with Dortmund, so they would at least fill the position that would be left void by a centre back going out. We're sending some of our youngsters out on loan though, as of course you want to do in a series like this. Hopefully a few of them, we've got about 7 youngsters to send out on loan this season. Fingers crossed they will grow very nicely indeed. We do still have our youngster still to come up from the youth squad that looks like he's going to be another Scout Future Star. So fingers crossed he'll be able to come up and he'll turn 16 sooner rather than later. But we have Bayern Munich in the second friendly of the season, and this is kind of a tester for the European Super Cup, which comes up at the end of the month of August, because we have Bayern Munich in that particular competition. They won the Champions League last year, we won the Europa League last year, and we're both obviously in the Champions League this year. So we're obviously going to have to play Bayern Munich in a competitive fixture a little bit later on in the season.
But we get off to a poor start. Robin Lewandowski with a thumping finish right into the top corner. But Strihel Georgiev is going to race away. Use the defender as a bit of a barrier to knock Neuer, which opens up the space to find the bottom corner. And we're immediately back on level terms. After 15 minutes, it's Bayern Munich 1, Cambridge United 1. But Juan Bernat's pushing up forward from left back here. Get the initial tackle in and then immediately pass it straight to Sebastian Roda. And then Juan Bernat gets it back from his German teammate. Then eventually he will square it through to Thomas Muller. Gets it into Roda, dances past the tackler John Stones, and that's a very accomplished finish actually, across the goalkeeper into the bottom corner. 2-1, Bayern Munich lead again, but not long after. They're going to come down the right hand side here with, I'm not too sure who that guy is actually. They've got Matuidi there in midfield, but their right back, I don't quite recognise his name to be completely honest, but he's left so much space here for Georgiev to race through. Obviously, Strihel Georgiev is going to finish that. I don't care whether it's Manuel Neuer in between the sticks. He's not getting close to it. Strihel Georgiev is an absolute player for us. He's grown by about 10 ratings since we first brought him in as a free agent. He's risen to every single challenge we've placed him in between the start of this series and now. And he's continuing to absolutely do the business. And anything Lewandowski can do, Georgiev can do just as well. That one probably hit the same square of netting that Lewandowski's initial hit did to give Bayern Munich a 1-0 lead. Only this time, it's to give Cambridge United a 3-2 lead and round out Strihel Georgiev's hat-trick against Bayern Munich. I couldn't believe it. We scored a hat-trick against Bayern Munich. Crazy stuff. Right at the end of the second half here, though. Berahino's clean through here, but he plays it off to Georgiev. Going to get the 1-2 going. Georgiev not necessarily looking for a fourth himself, trying to play the team game, get himself an assist. Saido Berahino, he's got 97 sprint speed, 98 acceleration. Or the other way around, 98 acceleration, 97 sprint speed. Unbelievable physical stats on Saido Berahino. 85 finishing as well, and he's only 79 rated. I couldn't quite believe it. Julian von Hark is saying he's unhappy. I want you to be unhappy. I want you to leave, but nobody will bid for him. We're trying to have a look at Bazua, obviously, here. Unfortunately, they're not interested in Stefano Gabbiadini. So I'm going to try and use... I couldn't decide whether to use Fiola or not, and then realised we're actually using Fiola for the deal with Daniel Amate. So if that does go through, we'll need to use Bellerin for this one. But you have a look at Bazua's stats. I'm going to bring it up here from the scout report. He's only rated at 77. How? How is, with those physical stats and those technical stats, how is Bazua only rated at 77? He looks incredible. Absolutely unbelievable player. And 77 rated for 4 million. I am definitely trying to bring him into the side. He's clearly, for me, I would rate a guy like that with those stats like 82, 83. Hands down. But if he's going to be 77, it means he's going to be cheaper for us to buy. Unfortunately, Bayern Munich turned down the offer we initially put in for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I'm going to try and wait and see if we can get an offer and a deal done for Julian von Hark before I follow up with that, before we try and bring him in. But John Stones has had a bid in from Bayer Leverkusen that we're turning down. And even though Hoffenheim are interested in Wendell in a swap for Jetro Willems, they want a little bit more money, so I'm going to offer them 8 million, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that particular deal in the next episode. We are sending out a youngster on loan though to Manchester United of all sides. Strangely, they want my 68 rated 17-year-old right mid. I don't really know why, but I've got 2 players that are still on the transfer list, I think, that we're trying to sell: Julian von Hark and Stefano Gabbiadini, both of which on big wages as well. And obviously, if I can sell Julian von Hark for 30 odd million, that will go a long way into improving the squad, but I cannot get anyone to bid for him right now. So I'm hoping something happens in the next episode on Friday and we'll be able to move him out of the club and then really start to spend some money. But that's going to be all for today's episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Check the channel page for anything you may have missed, whether it's this series, the My Player series. There was a brand new episode went up yesterday where the transfer saga has come to an end, or whether it was the Barcelona Career Mode series that went up earlier on today, or even the Golden Oldies Challenge series that went up earlier on today with Channy and MGH. But that's all from me for now. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Follow all the links in the description to my Twitch, to my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, and my sponsor G2A, and I'll see you next time.